Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes is a satirical novel that explores the fine line between reality and illusion and the impact of literature on an individual's sense of self and the world. Published in two parts in 1605 and 1615, the novel is one of the most influential works in Western literature and is often regarded as the first modern novel. It tells the story of a man who, obsessed with tales of chivalry, sets out to become a knight-errant, only to find himself in absurd and often comic situations. The novel's protagonist, Alonso Quijano, is an aging gentleman from La Mancha who spends so much time reading chivalric romances that he begins to lose touch with reality. He adopts the name Don Quixote and decides to revive knight-errantry, believing it is his duty to protect the helpless and uphold justice. He dons an old suit of armor, mounts his frail horse, Rocinante, and sets off on his adventures. In his delusion, windmills become giants to be fought, inns are mistaken for castles, and common barmaids are seen as noble ladies. Don Quixote's sidekick, Sancho Panza, is a simple farmer who is lured into accompanying him by promises of governorship over an island. Unlike Don Quixote, Sancho is grounded in reality, yet his practical nature contrasts with his master's idealism. However, over time, Sancho begins to get caught up in Don Quixote's fantasies, demonstrating the novel's exploration of the interplay between reality and illusion. The novel is structured as a series of episodic adventures, with Don Quixote attempting to carry out chivalric deeds that typically end in disaster or ridicule. One of the most famous scenes occurs early in the story when Don Quixote attacks windmills, mistaking them for giants, only to be defeated by their spinning blades. This iconic scene symbolizes his misguided idealism and the tragicomic nature of his quest. As Don Quixote's delusions continue, those around him, his friends, the priest, and the barber, try to bring him back to reality. They burn his books, believing them to be the cause of his madness, and stage interventions to trick him into returning home. However, Don Quixote's resolve remains firm as he seeks to uphold the chivalric ideals he holds dear, no matter how impractical or absurd they may seem. Cervantes uses Don Quixote's delusions to satirize the excessive idealism of chivalric romances, as well as to critique broader social issues of his time, such as the rigid class system and the gap between appearance and reality. The novel also examines the human condition, exploring themes of madness, identity, and the nature of heroism. Don Quixote is both a tragic and comic figure, tragic in his unyielding commitment to an unattainable ideal, and comic in his constant misadventures. By the end of the novel, Don Quixote returns home, exhausted and disillusioned. He eventually renounces his knightly ideals, regains his sanity, and dies peacefully, though his death is bittersweet. Sancho, who had come to believe in the possibility of their dreams, mourns his master's passing. Don Quixote is a deeply layered work that combines humor, irony, and philosophical inquiry. Through the character of Don Quixote, Cervantes explores the tension between dreams and reality, showing both the nobility and folly of pursuing idealism in a world that often rejects it. The novel's lasting impact comes from its ability to question the boundaries between imagination and truth while celebrating the human spirit's capacity to dream.